Janet and welcome to my channel on lifestyle, food, travel and crafts. And today I'm going to be sharing with you my recipe and my method for making the old school Kiwi Pavlova. Look, it's not a secret, it's the old recipe that is in every recipe book. It's published in the newspapers, particularly around Christmas time. So the only thing is that my method is tried and true, and I think you'll pick up a few tips along the way. So come with me into the kitchen and we'll get started. Okay, so here we are in the kitchen, and the first thing that I'm going to do before I start is turn the oven on to 180 degrees. Now we're going to need 6 eggs, so we need to break those into a bowl and separate out the egg yolks. I've actually kept the egg yolks. I'm going to top them with a little bit of water, and I'll use them later on to make a recipe which is absolutely beautiful for a burnt butter cake, beurre noisette. And I'll do a video on that a bit later on once I get enough egg yolks to do it. It needs about 14 egg yolks plus 2 eggs, so it's quite a mission, but well worth the effort. So we're going to beat those egg whites. We'll beat them until they're stiff, and then we'll start adding the sugar. Now I've got here 2 cups of caster sugar. It's a finer granule and it adds better into the meringue and makes it a much finer consistency. I guess you can use ordinary sugar as well. But look, I do prefer caster sugar. So we're going to add it 1 tablespoon at a time. The first half should be very, very slow, just added very slowly. We can probably speed up a bit after we've added the first half. But overall it should take about 10 minutes. So let's get started with that. Okay, so we've added the caster sugar, so now I'm just going to check it to see if I like the consistency. It doesn't look too bad. So that looks pretty good. I'm just going to check the graininess. So I just want to grab a little bit and just rub it through my fingers, and just to check that all of that caster sugar, or if you're using thicker granulated sugar, just to check that it's all dissolved. And look, I can't feel any of the sugar granules in that mixture, so I'm pretty happy with that, so I think we're going to go with it. So all up it should take about 10 minutes to do that, and if you think that the mixture still needs a bit more beating, then go ahead and put it on for another a minute or 2 minutes, and then check the consistency again. Okay, so we've done that. What we need now is to measure out 2 tablespoons of corn flour. This is what makes the pavlova lovely and marshmallowy on the inside, because of course we're looking for a particular type of structure when it comes out of the oven. We want that hard exterior shell, and we want a beautiful soft and marshmallowy centre. The hard shell of course will hold your topping, and the centre is just going to be beautiful to bite into. Okay, so we want 2 tablespoons of corn flour. So that goes in. And we need 1 tablespoon of malted vinegar, malt vinegar. So we need 1 tablespoon. I'm not going to measure it over the egg whites, I'm going to measure it here and then tip that in. 1 tablespoon. And my flavouring today is going to be vanilla, so I need 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Measure that over here so I don't get too much. And that's going to go in there. Now what we need to do is just gradually mix this in. We don't want to beat it. We've done all our beating. So we just want to gradually mix it in. So I'm going to go back onto the KitchenAid and just mix it very, very slowly. Okay, so that's all we need, just a little bit of a mix through. And now we need to, basically that's it. How easy is that? Just sticking to the method really does work, and if you just trust in the recipe, it will come out. So now we can put it onto our baking sheet. All I've got here is a baking sheet and I've just covered it with baking paper. Now you can make any kind of style that you want. You can make a long rectangle, or you can make any kind of shape that you want. You can even make mini pavlovas, do quite a few of them. But for me, I'm just going to do our stock standard pavlova, and I want to make it relatively big because I want it to feed a lot of people. It's 6 egg whites in here, it's a large recipe, and I want it to so that it's fairly big and flat so that I can cut it into lovely wedges and serve. And gosh, this recipe is great for cutting because it holds its shape beautifully. So I'm just going to get everything out onto the baking sheet. Just any old way to begin with, and then we'll start shaping it. Doesn't it look like a mountain of just white clouds, white heaven? It just looks beautiful. And really, it's a simple recipe, but it is a stunning showpiece when you have a crowd of people over. And it's a family favourite. We always have this for Christmas Day. Okay, so what we need to do now is just get it into a kind of a shape that we want so that it can go into the oven. Hope you guys can see all of that okay. Maybe I need to move it back a little bit. I think that's good. So we want it to be into a shape. Some people do like bird's nests where they make it really hollow in the middle. That's okay as well. I like to do it just in a big shape, fairly rustic, to be about like that so that it will feed a large crowd, and nice and flat so it's easy to cut. But it is quite deep as well, so it should do, 10 people, I think. So I think that will be really good. Just get those last little bits off. We don't want to waste anything. They can all go back in. Don't forget that whatever shape you make and whatever swirl you make, it will come out on the pavlova once it's finished. Okay, now my next tip is to put it in the oven at 180 degrees, and then it sounds quite hot, I know, but look, this just works. So it is a great tip. Put it in the oven at 180 degrees, and then as soon as you get it into the oven, turn it to 130 degrees. So that's all at 180 now, so we're going to pop it in the oven. Close that door and put it straight down to 130. Now that pavlova has gone into the oven at 180 degrees, turned it down straight away to 130 degrees Celsius, and that's going to stay in the oven for 1 hour, and then I'll turn it off. Once I turn it off, I'm still not going to open the oven. I'm going to leave it all day. But once it's really, really cool, I'll get it out and I'll put it on a plate. And then I'll cover that plate with tin foil and just leave it on the bench, because we want to have this for our dessert tomorrow night. And it's always a good idea to do something the day before so that you're all prepared when people come for dinner. Now I'm going to put the timer on for 1 hour and then I'll turn the oven off. What I'll do next is leave you there and then come back tomorrow and show you how I dress the pavlova for the table. Thanks, bye. Okay, so it's the next day now. The pavlova cooled in the oven all day yesterday. In the evening I took it out of the oven and popped it on a plate and I covered it with tin foil. So it's been sitting there on the bench all night and today. And now I'm ready to dress the pavlova. I used my serving plate, of course. Now you can do the dressing of the pavlova up to 3 hours before. But look, my tip is don't do it any earlier than that, because you know, all of this lovely hard exterior might go a little bit soggy and you want that structure when you're serving it. Now I've already whipped 300 mils of cream and I've also popped in 2 tablespoons of icing sugar. So that's going to be the basis for my topping, and I'm just going to mount that on top. Look, any which way you mount it on is going to be amazing, and that's just going to cover all of that pavlova. Okay, so I've got some seasonal fruit here. So the first thing I'm going to pop on is kiwi fruit, of course. So I'm just going to pop that on around in a random kind of order. I'm not going to be too fussy. Of course, when this is done on Christmas Day, I like to decorate just before I serve it, and it's really great to have kids around and they can be all helping with the decoration as well. Now the other thing I've got is fresh raspberries, so you know, a few of those, how beautiful is that? I'm just going to pop them around here. So that they look beautiful. South Island raspberries. I mean, we're in the middle of summer at the moment and we've got this beautiful summer fruit available to us. Strawberries, of course, as well, but really the flush of the strawberry season has finished here. So I'm just sort of using what I can. Blueberries, how lovely are blueberries at the moment? So I'm just going to do a sprinkling of blueberries. Now the last thing that I'm going to do is drizzle with passion fruit. And passion fruit is just divine. It'll give a really fresh flavour, a real zing, and you know, it drizzles everywhere, goes off the plate. I don't mind that. So that's basically the pavlova. I would keep it in the fridge afterwards, after all of your guests have gone home, and it might go a little bit soggy. That's okay. You're going to have it as leftovers, and with ice cream it will be absolutely delicious and will take on another dimension. But while we're serving it, it's going to be served straight away today, and look, it's going to be just beautiful. I'm sure everyone will love it. Hey, thanks a lot for joining me today, and I hope that you'll make this pavlova and you'll love it just as much as I do. I'm going to cut myself a slice now and go and have a piece before the family come home with a cup of green tea, I think. Just listen to that lovely crunch. Okay, let's have a look at it. Oh, looks pretty lovely to me. So have a look at that. Beautiful marshmallow, that lovely crunchy exterior. It's going to be a real favourite for everyone. And I'm dying to taste it. It looks just beautiful. Oh, that's lovely. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks a lot. See you later.